Bro, a 6-bedroom house? And look at this, he's got solar panels on this thing. I pay more than that in rent right now in this apartment you guys see, and it's 700 square foot and 1 bedroom. So good for him. What's up, guys? It is your favorite ex-investment maker, your boy Jerome, back at it with another video. We're gonna be doing another one of your favorite ex-investment banker reacts videos. Now, if this is your first time here on this channel, thank you, welcome. Make sure you smash that subscribe button down below. Also, shameless plug, make sure you tune into the 9 Degrees podcast, also on this channel every other Monday, sometimes Tuesday. If your net worth is over $100 million, they're going to incorporate a 25% cap gains tax on unrealized gains.
Here's what they really should do. They should tax like high net worth investors. If they borrow against that asset, they should tax that as income tax. The assets, it's just paper money. Why are you getting taxed on just something that's not actually benefiting you yet? Tax it when it benefits you.
Now today's video. This video is CNBC Millennial Money. It's titled, I save half of my $250,000 a year salary as an AI scientist. Now we all know AI, NVIDIA, Plantier, is that what that company's called? Plantier? I don't even know if they do AI, to be completely honest with you, but their stock is booming right now. I'm not surprised that this guy's making $250 a year, but let's see how in the world he's saving half of that. Because quite frankly, that sounds insane to me. I don't make $250,000 a year. However, I surely am not able to save half of my money every single year. Let's get right into this video.
I figured out early in life that finances or money could play an important part in your life.
Just right off the bat, I figured out that finances and money can play an important part of your life. Well, no, duh. Okay, I'm not trying to be mean to this guy. I'm sure it's just the way that CNBC has edited this video, but duh.
My name is Dr. Hasam Sheikh. I'm 33 years old. I make $250,000 a year, and I live in Orlando, Florida.
Okay, 33 years old, $250K a year, Orlando, Florida. Some of these things are adding up. First off, Orlando, Florida, no state income tax. That helps. Here in Virginia, 4.5%. I think maybe it's actually 5.5%. That in itself, you're saving a lot of money. Okay, so an AI research scientist at Intel Labs with a base salary of $187,000 a year. That's not crazy. Also, I'm pretty sure he introduced himself as doctor, so PhD, 33 years old, he's probably gotten promoted some amount of times. This makes sense. I don't think that's crazy at all. On track to earn about $250,000 a year, including stock bonuses and stock compensation. No. Listen, normally, stock compensation, I would say, is a phenomenal, fantastic thing. Intel has not been doing well. And to be fair, this video is from like a year ago, so maybe, just maybe, like he wasn't affected and he got his money out. But let's just quickly throw a graph of Intel over the last 12 months up on the screen, right? Let's look it up. Ooh, damn. Buddy, I sure hope you got your money out because, yikes. Okay, let's do some quick math here. His base salary, 187, we'll just call it 190. 250 minus 190, there's about 60,000 of bonuses in stock. Let's say it's split 50-50, 30,000 in stock compensation, minus this 37% drop year over year. He's lost about $10,000. That's not horrible. It's not horrible. It's not as bad as I made it sound initially. Okay, so he's doing 240 for the year instead of 250. That's not crazy. It is just unfortunate. Bro, a 6-bedroom house? I need to know when he purchased this home. Because I don't really care that it's in Florida. A 6-bedroom home gotta cost millions, right?
I bought my home on September 27th, 2021. I paid 10% of the down payment.
September 20, whatever, 2021. That was right in the middle of when the real estate market was just booming. And look at this, he's got solar panels on this thing.
With the closing cost, everything come out to be $60,000. It took me only about 6 months to save about $60,000.
$60,000. He said it was a 10% down payment. That means the house is $600,000. That's not that expensive. 6-bedroom house in Orlando, Florida, for $600,000. No way you could find that today. No way. I mean, let's just do a quick Zillow. Oh wow. Is Orlando just cheap? Because there's actually like several houses that fit this. There's 52 homes that are under $600,000 and have at least 5 beds. Yo, that's crazy. Should I move to Orlando? The median home here in Northern Virginia is like 700 plus, and you're talking like a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom max. So I feel like I gotta move to Orlando. I love this. I feel like I have talked about this in previous videos. If you are a single person and you buy a home that has multiple bedrooms, you should absolutely consider renting it out to other people, because you could rent those other rooms $1,000 a month, $1,200 a month. You get 2 roommates or whatever, and if you're young and you're gonna be in an apartment having roommates anyway, why not? And then they're covering your mortgage. You could put a little extra money in to pay the home off earlier if you want. And I get it completely. If that's not you, you don't want roommates, you're buying the house so you can be on your own, I get it. Then just don't do it. It's not that big of a deal. Like me personally, I don't want to do that. If I buy a house, I want that home to be for me. I don't want to share it with roommates. I don't live with roommates now. I sure as hell don't want to share my house with roommates. But if that's something you don't care about and you want to, pay off the home quick or get a little extra money saved up to buy a second investment property, something like that, or it doesn't have to be for an investment property, just to save money in general.
As of this moment, I have around 6 credit cards. For most of the part, I pay them every month, but I always do credit card churnings. So after every year or 2, I get this new credit card with 0% APR with like 25 months payments plan.
Okay. First off, I want to talk about that statement that he just made. He does credit card churning. So he said after every year, he gets a new credit card that has a 0% APR for 25 months. Personal opinion, I don't love that. I don't like it because, one, it's just annoying to look for new credit cards all the time. I don't know, as long as you're like paying off your bill every month anyway, I don't know that it necessarily is going to affect your credit score per se. So maybe that doesn't matter. But the thing that I would be most worried about is at the end of those 25 months, if I forget or something, and then now you roll over a balance and then now you're paying a ridiculous interest rate. Instead, what I like to do personally is, doesn't matter how much money I have on my credit card, I pay the statement balance every single month, no matter what. It really is just making sure your budget is nice and tight and clean and making sure you're never spending more money than you have. Now, I get it. Life happens, and sometimes you do spend a little bit more. But that's when you can dip into that emergency savings fund you might have, that rainy day fund, pull out just a couple $100, pull out a couple $1,000s, pay that entire credit card off, and then the next month, make sure you start refilling that rainy day fund. That's what I do. I don't really believe in these like 0%, or it's not that I don't believe in them, I just don't trust myself to keep up with them. So I personally don't really love it. You do what you want. Let's look at his budget real quick. So housing, utilities, $2,700. We already talked about this. His home is cheap as good for him. I couldn't be paying that right now. I pay more than that in rent right now in this apartment you guys see, and it's 700 square foot and 1 bedroom. So good for him. Home improvements, $2,300. Always a good thing to increase the equity value of your home. Always great. savings and investments. Here's one thing that CNBC does that I really like. Whenever people put money in their savings and investments, it counts it as part of their monthly spending. And I actually really think that's a good idea. You should be thinking of your savings and investments as part of think of it as like a bill. So the second you get your paycheck, you put $100 away into savings or investments. I personally do 10% in savings, 10% in investments, and that's what I do. But if you start to treat it like a bill and it's like budgeted into your budget, it becomes easier to figure out what your actual available cash flow is. And I don't know, I guess the main takeaway is think about your savings first and then budget off of the remaining. The rest of his bills are not that crazy. So okay, in July, he spent $7,600 times 12. He's spending $91,000 a year, and he made $158,000 remaining. And, after federal taxes and stuff, yeah, it makes sense that he was able to save $100,000 in a single year. Good for you.
My strategy for buying cars is that I try to get as bad of an APR and deal as possible and use this as a leverage to reduce the MSRP. So when they reduce the MSRP, I try to pay off my cars in 2 to 3 months, which I recently did.
What? I have never in my life heard of this as a strategy before. And actually, I'm completely against what he just said. What? Brother, what the f***? Let's recap for a second. So he said he tries to get the worst financing possible, so highest APR loan. And then he uses that as leverage to get the price of the car to go down. Yes, in theory, what he's saying makes sense. Here's why I don't like this, because money today is better than money later, right? That's this concept of the time value of money. If you have more money today, you can invest it, you can save it, you can earn interest on it, and that money can grow. Money today is usually always better than money later. Now, in this case, maybe he buys a $50,000 car, right? And he negotiates it down to $40,000. Well, if he's paying it off in 2 to 3 months, he just spent $40,000 in 2 to 3 months. Instead, what I would do is you get a really low, good APR financing, you make the minimum payment. Yeah, okay, you're gonna be paying a lot in interest, right? But what's the interest rate that you could get? Today, I think the best interest rates you can get are like 7%, 8%, something like that. But a year ago, it wasn't that high. It was maybe 5, 6%. At a 5 or 6% interest rate, you can beat that in the stock market or in crypto. Or look at a high yield savings account right now. Robinhood Gold is giving out 5.5%. If you can beat that interest rate in the stock market, take that $40,000 that you have, put it in the stock market or in a savings account. It'll grow. It'll continue to grow. And at the end of your 6-year cycle or whatever, you will have more money. I'm not going to go into the math of it right now, but if you guys want to see that video, make sure to put that in the comments down below or smash that like button and I'll make that video. We'll do a comparison.
I have a 401k account through my employer. I also have an HSA account. Then I also have a private brokerage account, which I contribute on a monthly basis.
Whoa, he's got a lot of money. CDs, I'm not a big CD fan, but to each their own, I guess. These are just his savings and investments through July of 2023. That's 7 months of the year. The employee stock purchase plan. Gotta watch out for that Intel stock, man. Gotta watch out for that Intel stock. And then 401k, honestly, he's not contributing a lot of money to his 401k. He's on pace to be contributing, call it another, let's just double this number. So maybe he hits 9,000 for the year. That's not a lot that's going in the 401k. I hope he's getting his full employer match at least, because that's the most important thing about a 401k. You want to make sure you're getting that full employer match. And then, some people put extra money because it's beneficial for your taxes. Anything you put in your 401k is pre-tax money and you don't have to pay tax on that income. HSA accounts, also a great savings tool, can help you pay your healthcare costs. Also pre-tax, so it can help you reduce your tax burden. So, I mean, he's doing phenomenally. I don't even understand how he's doing this.
My financial life as a PhD student was a mess, I would say. I would get $1,400 a month for 9 months in a year and no funding for the summer. I was literally living under the poverty line for like 4 years.
We're going to have to go to the 9 Degrees podcast here and ask Jared, as a PhD student, how much did he get paid? Because this seems crazy. $1,400 a month for 9 months of the year. So $12,600 divided by 12, you're talking $1,000 a month is what he lived off of. That's insane. That's so insane. He must have lived in like a 3-bedroom apartment that had 8 people living in it. But I also wonder, I don't know how every PhD program works, but my assumption was that you get housing like provided. So, I mean, that's the big question, right? Because that's the biggest expense that you're going to have. Is housing provided, or are you paying for your own housing? Because I don't even know, even in 2016, I don't even know how that's possible.
So I've built a gateway for my cat from the living room to her litter room, and I decorated as a mini castle. I'm really proud of it because it required me to work with the micro drills and using stone cutters and everything in between and working with the electricals to light her pathway. I'm really proud of. Besides DIY stuff and work,
this guy's so wholesome. Like, anything negative I've said in this video, I feel so bad. This guy's probably the most wholesome person I've ever seen on camera, ever.
I absolutely love to cook.
Man, I like
the
to
other
cook
big
too.
expense I would say is my food expense. From time to time, I indulge into delicacies and expensive ingredients. So there's always a set of expensive ingredients in my fridge. I would buy caviar, foie gras, or Wagyu beef from
Brother,
time to time.
You are saving $100,000 a year. It's okay. $600 a month on food is not that crazy. Go back and watch a video that I made a couple months ago, I think, where I broke down my cost, how much I spent while I was an investment banker, and I think I spent like 17 grand on food over the course of 12 months. Like, I'm spending thousands a month on food. $600 is not that crazy. Live. Let yourself live, my guy.
At the beginning of my job, I made a self-commitment that I would need to save $100,000 every year in investments. So my annual goal is to contribute $100,000 into my investment accounts, including the 401k and HSA altogether.
Dang. $100,000 in savings, investments, HSA, 401k a year. So impressive. I agree with you, man. I'm also here for early retirement. That is what I would like to do as well. Let's do some quick math. I save about $200 a week in my savings account, $200 a week in my investment account. I put, I think about, call it 15,000 or so in my 401k for a year. Comes out to about 35,000 in a year. And I think I'm doing pretty well. But clearly I'm doing 1/3 of what he can. $100,000 a year. You're talking in 10 years, when he's 43, he's got $1 million plus interest. So maybe that's actually closer to like $1.3 million, $1.4 million. In another 10 years, maybe he's got $4 million, close to that, $3.5 million. What do you guys think? Is that enough? Is that enough to completely, fully retire? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. As always, I'm your favorite ex-investment banker, Jerome, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Wait.